Hello, this is Brett with WIPDeveloper.com. So we have our first component, and we've added styles using the Salesforce Lightning Design System and custom CSS. But right now, we can't really reuse our component because the only thing it says is WIPDeveloper.com is awesome. And while I might think that's a true statement, you might not want it to look that way on your page. So we're going to add a property to our component so we can assign a value via the community builder in Salesforce. To do that, we're going to have to go into our component and add a property. So we can set a default value as well, so that in case we don't set it, it'll stick out. Now, in theory, we should be able to use this as our property. We should be able to use our property right now and have it display. Let's save it, give it a shot. Oh, before we do that, we should probably make it a little different so we know it's coming from the label property versus, yeah, there we go. Now let's refresh the page, see if we get an exclamation mark. There we go, we have 3 exclamation marks. Now if we go into the edit page and select our component, we do not have the option to set the label property here. To make it so we can do that, we have to go into the first component metadata XML file. So previously we set the metadata as is exposed true, so we can see it in the app builder, and we gave it the target pages, the app page, the record page, home page. Now what we're going to need to do is add target configs that expose the property that we just created, the label property. So there's target configs. This allows us to expose things for the targets that we specified above. So we're going to configure one target config for all 3 types. And now this will need a property of targets. Now I could copy and paste each one of these down there. That's a comma separated list, or I could just copy and paste it from my other window, which is what I'm going to do. But you can see I have the Lightning record page, I have the Lightning app page, and the Lightning home page on this target config. Now I want to add a property that will specify that we are exposing the property label, which is, this has to match the name we specified in our JavaScript component, and we have to specify the type, and it's a string, and then we can provide a default value just so we know that it's always set. Now, side note, I'm a little annoyed that it doesn't auto format, so what I'm going to get real quick is an XML tools. Yes, XML tools. I'm going to install that and restart, just so it will format and look nice. There we go. Everything is much nicer. I will provide a link for XML tools in the blog post below. Now we've exposed the property of label. We should be able to see this in the Lightning app builder once we push this to the scratch org. Oh. So what it's saying, we got an error. The label property does not exist on the component. And that is because I forgot to use the API decorator. So from in our import statement, we have to add an import for API. Down here, we would actually use it with an @ sign. Now that we've properly decorated our property with API, let's push this. And we can go back to our Lightning app builder. Let's refresh it. There's the label. So we can give it a name. And this time, let's just give it a slightly different label, so we can make sure that it's taking the label that we've assigned in the app builder. Go back. And there you have it. WIPdeveloper.com, exclamation, 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 1, exclamation. So there we go. We have exposed a property from our custom Lightning web component to the Lightning app builder so that we can configure it. That's all for now. Remember to sign up for the weekly stand-up, and you can get updated with any new information we have on the WIPdeveloper.com.